Mondays around the Joel Natale show are busy, busy, busy. I'm glad that you're tuned in to Talk Erie here from our Kingdom Financial Group studio. Also, live on YouTube and Facebook. If it's Monday, it's Mondays with Dean. Dean Pepicello, our political guru, joins us. He's the Harbor Creek Township Supervisor and knows all the things. And even... But except, I guess you don't know how to, like, not get injured in hockey.
I have a lower body injury, which has me week to week. Yes.
Oh, my gosh.
That's the official designation.
Are you on the the injured reserve list?
Not yet.
IRL?
We'll know when we get back from x-rays and maybe an MRI. I shouldn't, as my wife says to me, you're 58, almost 59, idiot. Really? You're going to still play hockey?
You're that old?
I know. It's incredible, isn't it? I
mean, you don't look it.
I don't
you don't
act
seem it.
I don't act it. That's the truth.
Yeah.
She's like, what is wrong with you?
And she's right, I mean,
yeah,
what is wrong
I know. Thanks. Anyways, we're hobbling around for now.
Yeah.
I thought I might be getting an x-ray here now, but I'm glad it worked out that I get to come here and hang with you people because I love you.
We love you, too. Okay, so it's been a week. We have new administrations. Mayor Devlin doing a listening tour, filling the hall at Booker T. Washington.
Yeah.
I mean, people want to talk to the mayor.
Yeah.
Having that kind of outreach is super important.
She set a tremendous start. She really. Now, again, I think we talked last week. Action. At some point, you need action, right? But I can't think of a better start. An enthusiastic inauguration speech, full of positives. Full of youth, I think is kind of important.
Yeah.
And the listening tours you want to listen. The first thing I did, it's been 20 years now. First thing we did was visit every business and listen. And you know what? It helped. Honestly, it helped doing all that listening. Because when you're campaigning, you're talking. Right. You're not doing as much listening. You're doing all the talking because you're trying to convince people to vote for you. So I think it's important to listen now, to spend a good amount of time listening. And it helped me formulate what we were doing in Harbor Creek Township and changed everything we did 20 years ago. I think for the positive. I think most people would tell you for the positive. But it was based on what I heard on the street and took seriously.
At what point, though, does leadership have to supplant, kind of the conventional wisdom? And this is, okay, I'm just going to lay it out here. They did Charles Buki did a comprehensive plan for Mill Creek, Embrace Mill Creek. They did a lot of community outreach during that. They came up with the idea of the gateway. And then when the supervisors went to execute the gateway, they got hammered for it. Dan Ouellette loses his gig over it. And, and there's a lot of hard feelings. In fact, they're changing the government.
Correct.
Basically, almost because of the gateway.
Yes.
Although I still don't know if you were pro-gateway, anti-gateway vote, whether you voted for the government or not. You know what I mean? So at one point, I guess my point is, at one point, is leadership have to supplant kind of all the naysayers? Because honestly, I'm one of those guys that would have liked to see a very less expensive business park out in Fairview in Girard Township.
Yeah.
There.
Well, first of all, in the gateway, because the report says something, which I don't think is inaccurate, doesn't mean you go. Doesn't mean you go spend double for everything, form an authority for whatever purpose. It doesn't mean you handle it wrongly, right? It just means that the end game was X. Now, there are certain ways to get there. It still could work out for them. So It doesn't mean the report is wrong. The execution may have been wrong. We'll find out.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, maybe it works out.
Well, it had to be a little bit wrong because people lost their jobs over it.
Well, sometimes, yes, honestly.
I mean, again, the voter has the final say.
I don't see any scenario where the taxpayers ever get paid back for the investment. And I think when the Gateway project was part of Embrace Mill Creek or whatever, I don't think anybody envisioned spending the kind of money to maybe get where you think you want to go. And they're not there yet. People are very impatient when it comes to this stuff. Sure. So it was the execution, not the idea. So, but to answer your question, I think leadership, the clock is ticking in this area. It's certainly ticking in the city of Erie. People are patient to some extent, but you have to be able to sell the vision. One thing, the mistake Mill Creek made, they didn't sell the vision at all. There wasn't a vision. It was all of a sudden we're going to buy these things, so we're going to pay double for them, and not double, but you're going to overpay for them. And I don't think people, if there is a vision, I don't think people understood that. So Mayor Devlin's, I think the case she has to make is, here's my vision. She started in the address, but here's how we're going to get there.
Right.
People will follow those with ideas they can believe in. It's not, you can't just have this soaring rhetoric. If people will know if you have no way to get there and you're just talking.
Yeah.
Right. So the case now she has to make is, here's where I want to get, and here's how I think we can get there. And if people believe that, they will follow you and they will believe in it. And at that point, they will be patient.
Let me connect the dots then to what we're seeing locally, to what we're seeing nationally. Do you feel that here, a year into, I mean, we're 8 days away from the year anniversary of Donald Trump's inauguration for his second term? Is he making the case? Is he listening? Is he articulating a vision that is able to be understood by the electorate?
Oh, yes. Yes. Articulating the vision? Yes. Do people believe he can get there? He's the guy to get them there. I don't think they're there yet on that. You look at, here's what's interesting. Look at all the things going on with immigration. I find this fascinating. He solved the problem, right? I think he won in large part.
He solved the border.
Exactly. So immigration, the border certainly was a top 2 or 3 issue, I would think, in the election last year. He solved it. Now they take the tack that they take. We could talk about that all day. He could have easily taken his win, closed the border, maybe they chase a few hardened criminals, whatever they do, to say we'll figure it out, and had the win. So he chooses, and I think popularity could have soared because of it. They choose to double down, to do what they're doing because maybe they think it's right, whatever the thing is. So to answer your question, I think he takes some wins and turns them into even Stevens or losses, almost. So I think sometimes he makes that mistake, but they're committed to it. I think the economy is gas prices are now under $3 in Erie, Pennsylvania, right? Today, I think
That's
was
huge.
the first time.
Yeah.
And I think that's deregulation. It's drilling closer to home. Maybe Venezuela has an issue. It's an impact is probably early on that. So I think he's starting to win. I think people are seeing it. Until we stop thinking we're paying so much for everything, though, it's not a win. You're not going to be in the win column. You're going to be driving down the field with a chance to win the game, so I don't think he's there yet. And midterms are looming, but I think he's made his case. He's a 50.1% approval guy at his highest. That's who he is in this country. I'm not saying it's fair, but that's who he is at his best. Is his best yet to come? I don't know. As far as popularity, I doubt it. Most sitting presidents don't go out with the numbers they came in with.
Up. They generally go down.
An old supervisor told me once, the day you get elected, you get all of these chips, right? And this is the most chips you're ever going to have. And every time you make a decision, you have to give these chips away because you're angering somebody. You'll never have as many chips as you have when you get elected. So I don't care what level you're at. That's what you face.
By the way, I told Mayor Devlin on Tuesday, I said, yeah, Dean and I were talking, and we said, your best day was yesterday.
That was it. The easiest day, I said.
The easiest day.
The easiest day she'll have is inauguration. That's funny.
She agreed.
Good.
Hi, you're live on Talk Erie. Thanks for the call.
Hey, Joel, Shaney, Dino, I'm glad you could limp in today.
Pretty much.
But, I'm pretty big on laws and stuff, and I think that elected politicians should be treated just like a Pittsburgh Steeler. Okay, if you're playing football professionally, you should not be able to go out and play a softball game without getting fined. Now Tim and Steve have to carry Dino like they do normally, a little bit more. Hey, Joe, speaking about, Daria and Christina, I noticed the news covering them every single day on, where they're going and what they're doing. Brenton Davis did that too, but the news never covered it. I don't know if you ever caught that or not, but they never did.
I think a lot of it is about communication. Mayor Devlin has a bang-up communications a person there, Mary Wassel, and they have somebody that's on social, and so they're really getting the word out there, and it's brand new, it's early. I'm not sure if Executive Vogel even has that slot funded because council pulled that funding for the information officer from Davis, 2 years ago. Go ahead. I'm sorry, Bill. Yeah.
No, I get it. We'll have to see what happens after the first 100 days.
Right.
But anyhow, I don't know if you guys noticed or not, but Minnesota just sued Trump to get ICE out of there.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
And they will win. Okay? They will win the lawsuit, and then other governors will pick this up. So we're going to have to deal with that. But I do want to know where Dino is seeing gas in Erie under $3 a gallon, because at Country Fair it's $3.03.
I saw $2.99. I think
I saw $2.97 on 97 and 90 on my way to work today.
Okay.
Well, if you go up to Speed Check Parade and 18th, yeah, it's under, but it's not under $3 everywhere. So, but I think that Trump's in big trouble. I really do. I don't know what he's trying to do. Now he's talking about attacking Iran. This was the guy who was going to solve wars, and he's starting them. I don't really get what's going on with this man. Something's wrong with him, put it that way.
All right.
He's going to get America in big trouble. It's not our place to worry about the people of Iran or the people of Ukraine or any other country. What happened to America first, Dino? That's gone. Trump never ran on all this crap that he's doing right now. This is stuff that he's doing out of the blue. This wasn't stuff that he ran on that he was going to do. If he would have, I never would have voted for him.
Interesting take. I appreciate it. Thanks, man. Yep. Bye. What do you think about that? Yeah. I mean, he seems to be gravitating to like we said last week. He's gravitating to the foreign policy because he has more control over it. He's like he's grinding his gears on domestics.
I thought of this a little over the weekend. We're not in a war. We're not in a war. We've taken military action. I think some people would think really good military action. I watched with Iran. I think what's going on is amazing. I think it's Berlin Wall falling type stuff.
No, I agree. Yeah,
I do.
sure.
And I think that those people are empowered by what they're seeing from the leadership in this country about what went on in the Middle East, certainly what went on in Venezuela. You understand that those people, they've shut down all social media. Yeah. They're hearing what the government wants them to know, and they're killing protesters, and yet the protests are growing. I think what's going on in Iran is incredible, and I think it's a good thing. And I think this country is a beacon for freedom and democracy in the world. This is, to me, exactly who we should be. Should we send troops in to do that? No, but certainly we send a message. We protect ourselves. We are the leaders in freedom. Would the world not be a better place with a free Iran, a free Venezuela? And I think that it would. And I think he's doing it without putting troops. I don't believe we'll be sending troops to these things. I mean, I get the things that he says, but today the proof is that the world seems to be a freer, better place and trending in that direction because of American leadership. I think that's a big deal.
He spent 4 hours with 4 New York Times reporters. And, again, something that would have been unprecedented in a Biden administration, probably in an Obama administration, right? And he said, "Judge me from my outcomes."
Yep.
Basically,
I think history is going to be incredibly kind to Donald Trump. When's the last time you heard that? Probably never. As he goes, certainly internationally, I think history is going to be incredibly kind to Donald Trump.
He was mentioning that the NATO nations used to never spend their 2% of GDP on defense. Now they are actually spending 5%. I mean, he coerced them. He bullied them to do it.
Exactly.
Again, his tactics are uncouth. But there's outcomes that for many folks would say that's a positive outcome. Now there are many folks that are saying, there's a lot of negative outcomes. His approach, Stephen Millers of the world, are provoking some some really ugly stuff going on, whether it's in Minnesota or in other places here. And you're scratching your head of like, what? I mean, these are American citizens, and we're trying to, again, yes, fraud. Let's prosecute fraud, but let's not threaten whole swaths of individuals that are Americans.
There's two very
American
different
neighbors.
There's two very different stories going on right now. I listen to Keith Ellison and Jacob Fry. They just had the press conference on the way over. I was flipping back and forth to hear it, and they tell a very different story. ICE is pulling innocent Americans out of their cars and out of their homes and dragging them away to prison. But when you hear Tom Homan or you hear other ICE officials, they're like, listen, we're just chasing the criminals. Do we run across other criminals and illegals doing that? Yes, and we handle it. But we're just trying to get actual criminals with rap sheets off the streets who we're letting here unfiltered. So there's just we're not there.
Yeah,
I don't know it. I'm sure it's intimidating.
Sure,
but they're two very different stories
that
are being told right now.
A woman is dead.
We can get into that too.
Yeah.
But
we got to go to break here. It's Talk Erie and the Joel Natale Show on a Monday. Dean Pepicello is our cohort here, our co-host with our political analysis. Stay with us. Well, you're getting some disagreement on the Facebook feed there, Dino.
Awesome. I love talk radio.
I mean, let's talk Greenland for a second there. Here's what I don't understand from President Trump's point of view. He doesn't need to execute any additional power over Greenland. Right now, the treaty with Denmark is such that was formed in the 50s that basically the U.S. can build any military base, any port, any kind of installation it wants, and Denmark will let them do it. So why do you need to go spend money on like buying the piece of land that's mostly ice to do what you actually can do anyway?
Yeah. I don't know. I'm with you. I think the issue of protection of this country, the days of being safe because we're bordered by two large oceans is over. Right?
I mean, we still have massive bases in Japan,
right.
and Germany.
So no, I'm with you on it. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know why. Some things about him drive me crazy. The thing when he says nobody's ever seen anything like this drives me crazy every time he says it. Of course, you've seen something like it. Stop it. Like that stuff drives me crazy. Yeah. But when I use the line, I think history will be more kind to him than people think. I think there's progress right now toward world peace. I don't know who could think differently at this point. On what? It's okay to have the Hugo Chavez's and Maduro's in charge. It's okay for the Iranian people to be suppressed all of their life, to have the unfortunate history of being born in Iran is like that's it. That should be the be all end all. Oh well, sorry, you're under the Shah and you'll never have freedom. That doesn't. The world is a better, safer place with freedom, with democracy. And it's okay for this country, I think, to go ahead and say that. and sometimes be involved in it in places. You don't think the people of clearly Iran is clear? These people.
I'm trying to like put this in context. Like I think about President Reagan. 1984. The hot mic moment. The bombing will start or whatever.
Yeah.
And all of those little tweaks, all of those, all that trolling that you wouldn't have called trolling back in the day.
Yeah.
Actually could have led to the fall of the Berlin Wall.
Sure.
And the fall of communism in the Soviet
There's
Union.
two things about that. Ronald Reagan was more presidential as we think of it historically than
Right,
Donald Trump.
yes.
And the country was less partisan at the time. There was more middle ground. So those two things have changed. And I mean, how long has it been? It's been 46 years or something, a little 40 years, right? So those two things have changed. But I think Donald Trump is doing some Ronald Reagan-esque things currently. He'll never get the credit for it today, but I think eventually, if this trend continues and there's success, he could. History could be much kinder to him than the present.
Let's sneak in one more phone call before the break here. Hi, you're live on Talk Erie. Hello.
Yeah, as far as Greenland goes, you got Russia and China right on their shores. Same with Venezuela doing it down there. Trump's a genius, man. He's put this together. He's got a master plan.
How is China on the shores of Greenland? Just help me understand that.
It's got its ships right there.
Okay.
Okay, its ships are right there. We got to defend the Western Hemisphere here. That's the master plan. I mean, he's got a great idea, and he don't know it all. But Trump is the kind of leader that'll put all his people together and listen to them, and then make a decision.
All right.
I don't know if you ever watched cabinet meetings. I've never seen a better cabinet meeting in my life. Excellent cabinet meeting. Each of them has good things to say and adds to the meeting. The other thing is, as far as gas, it's $2.70 in Edinburgh.
Oh wow, very cool.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Get over in Ohio, it's $2.39.
Yeah, it's amazing in Ohio. Hey, I appreciate it, man. Thank you so much. Take care.
Hey, one other thing.
Yes.
As far as Bill, he's done an actual 180 from back in the Scott Bremner show. It kind of reminds me of Joe Biden. He can't remember what he said 2 years ago.
All righty. Take care now. Bye-bye.
Yep.
Yeah, I've got like a minute here. What about, I don't know if I have enough time at all, but what about what's going on in Minnesota?
So much.
There's so much. Okay.
Let's
hold that.
I'm going to take a different tack. So many people have talked about law enforcement
Right.
and this woman's actions and all of that. There's, believe it or not, there's a political component to this that led up to that unfortunate set of events. And I kind of want to get into that because I don't think people, they're not thinking about, I don't think, that potential angle. They're looking at this.
I mean, I've heard it described as a syndicate, almost like organized crime to go after ICE.
Okay, on that side, not the other side. Yeah, yes, and I think that's an important. It's important to get into that, and it might outrage some people. Some people might agree with us, but I've got some strong thoughts on the political side of that and the effect it had on that.
All right, we've got to go to break at the bottom of the hour. This time with Dino goes so fast. You are tuned to Talk Erie and the Joel Natale Show on a Monday. Stay with us. You've got Talk Erie on your radio at 105.9, 103.3. Also on the Listen Live button from TalkErie.com. Dean Pepicello is with us, our political guru. Let's grab a quick phone call, Dino. And hi, thanks for waiting. You're live on Talk Erie.
Oh, hey, Joe. How you doing today?
I'm pretty good.
Yeah. Hey, I was listening to your last caller. He seems like he's kind of upset because he voted for Don, and things aren't going the way he promised. I remember my parents watching a movie back in, I think it was made in the 60s or 70s, called The Flim Flam Man, and it seems like everybody knew who this guy was before, but they thought he's our new hero and he's going to do everything that he says he's going to do. Well, now we're doing the country thing. We're good. It sounds like we're going to try invading Iran, or we're going to bomb Iran. We're doing the Venezuela thing. But you know what we're not talking about? We're not talking about this Epstein fella again. It's so odd how things are going, in this country now. You go to the grocery store, and I know it's a weird word, groceries, but everything is up. But we're being told that everything is getting cheaper, which it's not. So, I mean, is everyone a fool, or are we just at the point now where people won't admit that they made a mistake? And this guy's almost in the same state of mind as Joe Biden was before he left office. It's obvious now, but we can't admit when we were wrong. Okay, now
I'm going to push on that, because I don't think Joe Biden could handle an hour with 4 New York Times reporters.
I'm talking about,
you know what I mean?
He's getting to that point. He's not there yet, but he's getting there. I mean,
we all age. Yeah, I'm starting to feel it myself.
Yeah.
Hey, I'm going to keep moving. Thanks, man. Appreciate it. Take it easy.
All right, right on.
Bye-bye. I want you to get to your thoughts on Minnesota here for a second. More than a second.
Yeah, it's all right. And I preface this: I'm not a law enforcement expert, right? I don't go through that training. I don't understand it. I don't profess. I'm a huge law enforcement supporter, but I don't profess to understand that. Only 2 people know what really they were thinking at the time, and that is the woman who is unfortunately dead. Only she knows whether or not she was trying to hit him or not, or brush him or scare him or just pull away. I don't know, and we're never going to know. And only the ICE agent knows why he decided to fire. So the rest of us are just speculating. And Fox had a video over the weekend that they claim was this big game changer, that she tried to run him over. I didn't. That's not what I saw. I mean, I didn't see anything much different in that video. But only 2 people know that. So I can't really speak to that. But what I can speak to, what I think is real here, is I think this poor woman was a pawn. I think she was a pawn in the game of politics. I think that we can talk all day whether or not the action is correct, right? That's fine. I don't. People are entitled to that opinion, whether ICE or we should be going after illegal immigrants or any immigrants or anyone. We can have that discussion. Clearly, this woman, to me, was used by willing Democrats who want to make Donald Trump look bad and make this issue a huge issue, and the liberal media who is doing their bidding. Clearly, I think that. And I think that, I'm not a psychologist, but clearly looking at the video, she kind of thought it was a game. I think they think it was a game. They're videotaping and they're running their mouths and they're blocking the street, right? I don't think she ever thought this will happen. And I'm not saying it should happen. I'm not saying the ICE agent's right. I'm not saying any of that. I'm saying that clearly this woman was a pawn in what the politicians will make a game. And I think she got caught in it.
So what's the end game of the game? I mean, are they thinking that that ICE would stand down and no longer execute law enforcement actions?
Do you think the Democrats care 1 iota about this woman? No, they want to win the midterms. They want to win elections. They want to weaken Donald Trump. That's what they want to do.
So is this, people are talking about, is this going to be another 2020 where there was, mayhem across the country, $1 billion
Sure.
worth of property damage, and just instability for the midterms for a political reason.
It's about winning. It's about winning. And I know people don't think of it that way. And I think this woman was a pawn in that game. And I think it was unfortunate. And I think she got caught up in it. And people like Chuck Schumer, Tim Walz are calling for people to go out and resist, right? They're using the word resist. If any officer of the law pulled any of us over right now and said, get out of the vehicle, we get out of the vehicle. Right? And I bet that woman, if she got pulled over by a Minnesota state trooper and the same thing happened, she'd probably get out of her vehicle. But no, liberal media reports, all these people, like, we're going to rile all these, resist, that's what you're going to hear. I think she thought it was a game.
Tragic.
If you could have that conversation with her today, that's what I doubt very much she was intending to run that ICE officer agent over. I doubt it. I don't know, though. I wasn't there. Regardless, you were told, get out of the vehicle. We would all get out of the vehicle. That's what we would do. And I think under normal circumstances, she probably would have too. I'm speculating. But I think that's what you're seeing going on. And that's the political aspect of this. And it's a shame, Joel, honestly. This woman should still be alive, for goodness sakes.
Well, and there's people that are questioning her decision making. She has a small child at home. Again, now there's two families that are wrecked. The family of this woman and the family of the ICE officer, who did the shooting, right?
I'm not saying the ICE officer was wrong. You understand that. I'm not saying that. I'm simply giving you the political angle. I don't know the law enforcement angle of that, and I don't pretend to know.
I had a former law enforcement person text me on Friday saying that part of the training is if you're under immediate life threat, a life-threatening situation, that you do fire, that you intervene until the threat is eliminated. That's part of the training. And so it's just, again, here we are, lay people who are like, is there something less than lethal that could be done here? I
don't see how you do that. If you think you're
again, you have a massive, Tahoe or whatever it was.
Yeah, I hate to get into that. I don't understand it. I don't pretend to understand it. I've never done it. It's not in my DNA. But politics is in my DNA. And I will tell you that I think politics is a huge factor in the fact that this woman is dead. Period.
So, again, this is an election year for midterms. We have a big governor's race. We're not going to have the big marquee Senate races or what have you in Pennsylvania. Is it just going to be that we navigate all of this unrest, or is there a place for leadership to kind of bind people together? Where's Congress's place? Where is President Trump's place or is the chaos?
Congress with its 13% approval rating is nowhere. I think it's setting up to be. I saw another story out today. Actually, Fox did it today. Registered independents, Cheney bills, are leaning left, and they weren't. Right, 2 years ago they were not.
No, you're right.
And young people are signing up as independents, not picking either party, independents, and generally leaning more left than they were 2 years ago. It's a classic off-year election. That's what we're dealing with. And I know we're in the middle of it, and you talk about it all the time, but all of the trends favor Democrats right now.
Do you think Trump is legitimately worried about, like he told the Republican caucus at the Kennedy Center, that if he loses the House, he's going to get impeached again?
He said it.
Is that a worry of his?
I don't know, because they know he's not going to get convicted and thrown out of office.
Yeah.
He said it. It seemed to me like, it was a personal thing. Like he just didn't want to personally go through it again. Maybe he meant they're gonna obstruct us at everything, and this is part of it. I don't know, but it's setting up like a classic off-year election. The special elections have already happened. Would tell you that.
Yeah.
Every trend, the polling, everything's going in that direction. They need the Republicans need some wins today.
Where's the Speaker of the House? Where's Mike Johnson at? This feels like it's almost an impotent place where he's sitting right now.
Well, every time he gets a majority, somebody quits or takes another job or dies, for goodness sakes. We've had that recently.
We had that last week.
So they're just trying to they're all focused right now on midterms. They're all focused right now on midterms. So that's what you're seeing going on. If they lose the House, and they're likely. History would tell you that that's going to happen. So I think this administration and country are trending in the right direction. That was my point about Donald Trump, where he's at. I'm not saying he's perfect, any of that. But I think the trends are in the right direction. Gas prices coming down should lower the price of goods and services in this country. He said that. He campaigned on it. I think that's one of the reasons he's taken the actions that he has. So I think you may see prices go in the right direction. They certainly want that. I think internationally they're winning at this point. I think the Iranians want their freedom, the Venezuelans want their freedom, and we're not in a war today. And the country appears to be safer. All of those things are fact. You can hate Donald Trump. I get it. I understand that completely. There's plenty of things I don't like. But I think all those things right now are facts, trending in the right direction. Will it be enough in a short period of time? That I don't know.
Yeah. There's supposedly some kind of benefit to taxpayers when they go do their taxes. So February, March, they're going to start seeing, hey, I might be getting more back in a tax return. The big beautiful bill supposedly fundamentally changed some of the taxes. Could that be a win, if you will?
A little, but not like the price of. People want to see the price of coffee come down.
Yeah,
they want to see the price of cars come down.
I think cars, coffee, and rent.
They want to see that. Absolutely. Jobs report is coming. There's a lot of reports coming now.
Yeah.
50,000 more jobs, 50,000 jobs added or something in December, right? So that there is a trickle of good news, and then you hear that it could be different. People want to see improvements in the economy. I think they trust that he can get there, but you have to get there. Yeah. By midterms, you have to get there if you want to win the midterms.
Let's get another quick call. Hi, thanks for waiting. You're live on Talk Erie.
Hello, am I calling into the Donald J. Trump Kingdom Financial Studio?
My man, Joe.
Wow.
No. Remember, he's a man of president of peace. He just wants a piece of this and a piece of that. Your one caller would agree with me. Come on, he was, do you know if Brenton Davis took the job in Arizona as that city manager that was offered to him?
Don't know. Do you? You don't know, do you?
No, I did see a story out of that local newspaper that they hadn't made a decision yet.
They had not made a decision.
That was a couple of days
I
ago.
thought he had until this weekend to make a decision on that.
You could be right. I know they hadn't made a decision was all, yeah.
Okay. Dean, the distillery, is that still ongoing type situation?
It is still ongoing. The Canadian developer moves at his pace and said, I'm going to move at my pace and you'll like it. And we said, yes, sir. They just asked for a 90-day extension on filing some of their paperwork, which we granted. So they say it's moving ahead. I'm a little worried about all the reports of dry Januaries and people drinking less.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Sure.
But it's supposed to be on, Joe.
Well, what was it? Jim Beam or something shut down their one factory down.
Yes.
So
Yes.
brown spirits are taking a hit type situation. I wanted to bring up the farm show started on Saturday. Mm-hmm. There are hundreds of people from this Northwest Pennsylvania down there. There are maple syrup people who have entered stuff. The winery is a big thing down there. The honey. Beekeepers are down there. Hardwoods are down there. The bakings are down there. There's a large number of contingent of Erie County, Crawford County, and Venango County down at the farm show, and it's on PCN channel. It's either on channel 22 or I think it's 990 on Spectrum. I'm familiar with those two. In fact, they just had the honey extraction on at 4:00, type thing like that.
Okay, doke.
The other thing I wanted to
real quick. Go ahead.
One other thing. There is no more Lord. Okay, just as there was no more Hammermill or GE or American Sterilizer. When Steris came in, International Paper came in, WebTech came in. That. There was a transition of about a year where they kept the one name and then they took it off. There is no Lord attached to Parker up on Robinson Road. And the few Lord people that remain from the old Lord are really beheld to corporate out of Cleveland. And I'll tell you this, in I think it was 2019, the Parker stock was $239 a share. I just asked Alexa today. Parker stock closed out at $929.
Wow.
I think it was.
All right, Joe.
Okay.
I got to keep moving. I'm up against it, but thanks for that information. Appreciate it, sir.
Okay, go Farm Show.
Okay, there you go. I need to get to the farm show one of these days, but so what the week ahead? You got Iran in a very precarious situation. You've got basically the Midwest. This whole thing with the Minneapolis daycare centers and the whole fraud investigation, sending 2,000 additional agents.
Lots of rumors of Tim Walz's impending resignation. Have you seen that?
He did it. He did.
Said he wouldn't run.
I mean, he said he wouldn't run, but
Right.
actually resigning.
I'm seeing resignation.
Wow.
I'm not buying that either, but I have seen
Yeah.
reports out
I
there.
doubt that.
Okay, me too, but I haven't seen anything that I consider credible at this point. Didn't know if you had.
No.
They have a huge problem. The scandal is a huge problem. And
But now they're showing it in Ohio and in New York and in California.
Maine.
Yeah.
I saw Maine. This is awful stuff. All seems to be centered around daycares, doesn't it? Like
Yeah.
most of
Well,
it's
again,
fraud.
where's the easy money? Where's the lack of oversight? It's pretty ridiculous. Thank you, brother.
You
Be
bet.
careful. We'll get you some accommodations.
I'm gonna limp home. Just pick me up on the way home. Will you?
There you go.
I'll be the guy limping.
Thanks, Dean.